Thank you all for coming. There is a lot to unpack today because there's a lot of FUD flying around, and I'm going to try and dispel some FUD, but also share some good news and some very alarming news as well. Thank you all for joining. Thank you as well to the mods in the chat, Shorty, TND, K8, and we have the world's best foodie out there too. Thank you all for coming. Let's get into the story. I will talk a bit about on-chain metrics and the fact that we are nowhere near a top yet. But there's more important stuff to get to as well. There's going to be a lot to unpack here. So get ready. And I'm just a guy on the internet, not financial advice. And shout out to everybody on Patreon too. And the team behind me from Wagabond 2976, 2 years on Patreon. And it is still the best investment of my life. Woohoo. Excellent. And it's been a very good 2 or 3 years as well. Mad. How time flies. Anyway, let's get into the Bitcoin news. Let's attack the elephant in the room first. This is flying around left, right, and center. People are alarmed. I get pinged 1,000 times because the U.S. Marshals reveal, USMS, U.S. Marshals Service, reveal that the government now only holds 28,988 Bitcoin worth $3.4 billion instead of the 200,000 Bitcoin. Everybody's freaking out. Okay, first of all, what is incredible, if that was true, the price would probably be a lot lower, and it's not. Second of all, price is still right there knocking on all-time highs, $119,250 as we speak live. But let's go to a trusted source, people you need to go to when you're stuck. This is Arkham Intelligence. They have eyes on the prize, eyes on the bag, and they believe still there's 198,012 Bitcoin in this puppy. That's 1,000 with the K, 198.012, in case people get confused, because there's a lot of fear out there. Now, that being said, one thing is very important: trust but verify. Where is the list? Where is the Fort Knox gold audit, etc.? Promises kept. They all seem to be slipping away right now. So given that, you never know. It doesn't matter. We don't care. Bitcoin's going up. It's scarce. It doesn't need the U.S. government. Although it'd be nice if they buy 1 million Bitcoin, but it doesn't need it at all. Let's talk about where we are in July so far. 19%. I promised you a bonkers July at the end of June, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. 19%. There's not many times that Bitcoin goes up 19%. In fact, let's scan a little bit of history. It's the first 19% return we've had in the year 2025, and only to be beat by 39.8% return in November 2024. So it's been a crazy good time. But are we at the top? Everybody's like, when Bitcoin hit 75K a few weeks ago, people were like, that's it. Pack your bags, go home. Bear market's over on there. No. The data doesn't say that, and it still doesn't say that as well. This shows you there is still no overheating. Shout out to Sanjay as well, who got this to me. Basically, overheating has not even started yet based on history. And history often repeats, or at the very least, rhymes. And unlike in March and December 2024, on-chain data indicating market overheating shows that the market still is nowhere near an overheated state. Despite the price rising faster and faster, still tons of growth. So I think that was UTXO bands, UTXO-H bands. But let's go to my tool based on 22 different indicators, which I whipped myself very badly for missing the top by $10,000 in the last bull run. I promised myself that would never happen again. I don't care what it costs. I don't like to make the same mistake twice. This is the top and bottom indicator, our TABI model. And you can see here as well, right now we've just gone from yellow into orange, despite the price skyrocketing. Like if you go back to the last all-time high, 120K, we're basically nearly, 67K. We're basically nearly twice that right now. And we go through a big stage of orange, sometimes for an elongated period of time, and then we go dark orange, and then we go red. When we're red, that means we're overheated, okay? But there are crazy things happening right now. We hit a massive 123,800. And then, as always, mean reversion. But then something else happened too, which we will cover here. We did have, shout out to the team at Glassnode, over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin investors did realize, and that's about a day or so ago, but they did realize a lot of profit, about $3.5 billion in profit. Long-term holders took $2 billion, short-term holders took $1.5 billion, totaling up to $3.5 billion. And that is the largest profit realization day so far this year. And 56% of us in long-term holders. Again, they've done a lot, as I calculated, most of their selling already. But what happened next is even more dramatic, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting. This is the dip from all-time high. We shot all the way up to 123,800, and then we fell all the way down to about 115.8 and change. And guess what's happening now? Woohoo! We're going back up, ladies and gentlemen. Going back up, and we touched on 120K today already. And we'll see what happens. But the stacking is what matters. But let's zoom out to get some perspective of this dip. That again, people once again said yesterday, oh, it's time to pack our bags and go home. It's over. This is the dip in perspective over the last year and a half on the chart. You can't even see it on the top right corner. I pointed to it. It is nothing, okay? And the trend is still up. The trend is still blue. So please stop freaking out. So what happened during this dip? Let's have a look. Again, on-chain data shows you we did have a big dip, but we also have this thing called the cost basis heat map. And it shows you that investors stepped in aggressively to buy the dip. And they bought 200,000 Bitcoin between 116K and 118K. That is over 23 billion in value added near the top. Very strong conviction, and means we're going more up, more upside as well. But not just that. That is just, again, I'll repeat that. 200,000 Bitcoin were bought in that range on that dip. This is the typical FOMO time. People see the new all-time high. They see it move, and then they go, uh-oh, I don't have a position or I don't have enough. And then they just FOMO in on the dip. And that is a logical human nature thing to do. Not bad. But it wasn't. Let's see who it was, actually. I won't say who it wasn't. First of all, ETFs, they did buy the dip. Monday saw the largest daily inflow to the US Spot Inc. ETF. And yesterday as well, Tuesday, another big buy too. Again, what matters is yesterday, the market took a big dip and the institutions didn't flinch. They doubled down. They bought another 3,500 Bitcoin. Okay. That's pretty much all she wrote. The detail of the ETF buying, again, mostly BlackRock, 416.3 million. Couple did sell off a little bit, Fidelity, 22 million. But again, BlackRock is literally doing 70% of the action now across ETFs so far this year. Crazy. And shout out to the retail investors in the audience. Pat yourselves on the back. Guess you came in for the first time in ages. Shout out to Axel as well. But retail investors made a little comeback. And this is the 30-day change in demand for small transfer volumes of $0 to $10,000. And it moved out of negative territory over the past week. Retail are back at last. Thank you. Thank you again, the Foodie Emperor as well. This is so good to see. And not afraid. Not afraid. In the past, so sometimes retail came at the very end. But again, as I've proven so far with data, we are not at the end yet. And if you didn't want more, well, you're getting more. Little or no danger of a 30% drawdown from Nick at Econometrics. This chart here shows you, it's a bit of an eye chart, but basically when you look at the little blue box of where we are now, it shows you the probability of a 30% drawdown within 3 months is basically zero. Very, very small. 0, maybe 10% chance. Now, when things are hot, then red, orange, etc., then you should be worried that there could be a drawdown within 3 months. We are not at that stage yet. So every single thing I can point to is insane. All still bullish. Bull market is still on. This is July. This is peak heat. Trust me, it's very hot. Very hot. And I can see a little... there's people out there wearing SPF like crazy. It was so hot. But what else could happen? And I just finished the share accretion model as well from MicroStrategy. These guys, know what's happening next, okay? This is Michael Saylor and the Bitcoin historian talking to, I forget his name. I think it's a joke consortium. I think he's working for a firm now. Oh, God, it escapes me. I should write notes. Anyhow, apologies. I'll get it tomorrow. But Michael Saylor says MicroStrategy will be incorporated into the S&P 500 index. Just a matter of time. It's going to happen. Looks like he's back on his boat. You can tell the boat lights. So well done to Michael Saylor. It's going to happen now. Let's talk about this. I will get a little bit political here right now because ever since 2020, I saw some very scary things happen in the world. And it spooked the daylights out of me. And I want to make sure that no government, etc., can ever coerce me to do anything again. That includes the ability to buy things like Bitcoin or the ability to abstain from certain things. But here, the Genius Clarity Act and the Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Act all look good. These are three things, and they're going to be hopefully signed, put into law in the next 2 days. But what's most interesting is if you look at this, all of the votes for these laws that will help regulate crypto, which will help bump the crypto price, all the Republicans said yay, all the Democrats said nay. Okay? This includes anti-central bank digital currency bills. Okay? The left has not liked crypto. They tried to kill it. And again, the left doesn't mean you could be a left person, but you're not one of these left people. These left people do not want you to have these basic freedoms. Okay? They have not for a long time, and they don't. But I want to spend a second on this central bank digital currency thing, because these things are horrific. We've seen what they can do in China. And this is a great little ad as well. Do not let them shackle you. The digital euro will be the most controlled currency ever created. No one will have money except us. If your social score is in good standing, you'll have the privilege of making approved purchases. And if you don't do certain things, they'll cut off your money. Okay, this is... Now, if you asked me in 2019, would this even be possible? I said, no way would a government do that. But after seeing what happened in 2020, I have zero trust in government. As we go back to the Fort Knox audit, it was promised, it didn't happen. Okay? We need to somehow find a way to make sure governments work for us and not for themselves. Okay? So, and it all goes back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is a life raft. This is why I make these videos. Crazy stuff is happening. You do not want to be part of any central bank digital currency because the actions that government takes are absolutely terrifying. All governments, all sides. Be careful. Now, the good news is, though, per Senator Scott, Tim Scott confirms to Fox News that the Crypto Genius Act will not expand the authority of the Federal Reserve, which means America does not want a central bank digital currency, which hopefully it will be written into law and there will be no CBDC possibility in the United States. And hopefully other nations will follow. But it's not a good thing. And speaking of the power of Bitcoin and governments, this is a kind of a theoretical exercise. Shout out to our friends in Bulgaria, in Sofia. But the Bulgarian government had 213,500 Bitcoin. But they sold them in 2018. Okay? If they had held, they would have been able to pay off 79% of their debt. 79%. Just by holding bag. Instead, they sold it in 2018. The price of Bitcoin in 2018 was what? $3,000 or something? Or even less than that? Sigh. But again, this is how Bitcoin can fix things, even for nations. And the fact that they turn their back on it is kind of crazy. Follow the smart people. Speaking of smart people, Adam Back is back. And he gets backing. This is from Jason Williams. But Wall Street giant Cantor Fitzgerald, they have that vehicle called CEP, Cantor Equity Partners. They'll be investing $4 billion in the new Adam Back-led Bitcoin company from the Financial Times. And they will buy $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Call them Adam SPAC. Very cool. That's approximately 25,000 Bitcoin. Again, everybody is coming for Bitcoin. Everybody. And not just that. If it couldn't get any better, guess what? Arkham, again, second time Arkham starring on the show today. They just said Tether just minted $2 billion US dollars in Tether, okay, USDT, and they sent 1 billion straight to Binance. I wonder what Binance is going to do with it. Probably buy some things or manipulate some things. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's good news. More money in the system. And other good news too, and I'm seeing a lot of smoke around this, no fire as yet, but from Watch Your Guru, President Trump drafts letter to fire the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, New York Times reports. And apparently, you can't whack the Fed chair unless, of course, they are doing things that are bad for the country, and that is destroying the real estate market, the commercial real estate market, retail sales, retail investors with credit cards, and a lot of damage is being done by high interest rates, and they haven't even begun to see the damage being done to the job market yet. That's coming. So we'll see if that does happen. Markets will go up big time. Now, so far, the chance of a rate cut for July are only 2.6%, so it's probably not going to happen. And that's where we are. But let's finish on a brighter note after that serious talk to you all. Again, if you are in a nation that wants to put in place a central bank digital currency, run, pack your bags, pack the kids, pack the car, get out fast, because they will do bad things to you. I promise you that. And meme du jour, this is funny, from Carl Menger, great little piece of work here. Bitcoin is a scam in 2012. The price was $1. Gold was $1,700. Yes, gold has doubled, okay, in 13 years, 14 years. But remember, when you pull out debasement, not so good at all. Now, gold has doubled to 3,500, but Bitcoin's at 123,000. And he still says Bitcoin's a scam. And now he's trying to urge people to buy silver. Go look at the silver chart and divide it by M2 growth. Horrific. I was going to show it, but I don't want to give too much attention to it. Anyway, all these videos is a Bitcoin only playlist. The link will be here after the video. Thank you all for coming. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope I didn't scare you too much. If I did, apologize. But remember, forewarned is forearmed. Shout out to Miguel de Cervantes. Thank you all. Thank you, Shoni, the Foodie Emperor, TNT Tesla, K8, and everybody else. And I hope I didn't miss anything. Anglo Blackson, my friend, thank you. And UK Tony. The UK, I know. I hope the UK won't go down the CBDC path. It's one of the advantages of being outside the EU. And Soul Strider, appreciate you. Soul's on fire today. And Galaxy bought $55 million worth of Sol. Not bad. Not bad. Good start. Thanks all. See you all tomorrow. Banger of a video tomorrow coming too. Bye-bye.